You ever just want to quit your job, buy a boat, sail around the world?
Well, what if we told you that was possible?
I'm Raph.
And I'm Sasha.
With more willpower than money and a dream to become pirates,
We bought a sinking sailboat and spent the next 9 months transforming it.
Into one of the sexiest boats on the 7 seas.
There is nothing that can get in the way of us sailing around the world.
So grab your popcorn, hit subscribe, and be prepared for one hell of a story.
The story of our lives.
This is the journey of Spirit Animal. You ready, baby?
I'm ready.
Let's go! Here we go again, leaving in Spirit Animal fashion. Late at night, no sleep, guns blazing. But we were too excited to care. I mean, how could we care? Tonight was the beginning of our grand adventure. We were setting sail out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and had no intentions of returning until we came back from the other side of the world. Once again, we were free from the sirens, the honking horns, and the never-ending stresses that come with living in a city. We were finally back on the high seas. No land in sight, beautiful sunrises, flying fish, and endless horizons. But even with this perfect recipe for paradise, time had not slowed down for us yet, because we were on a mission. You see, after working day in and day out for a year straight, we thought it'd be a good idea to kick off this adventure with a flotilla. So we decided to coordinate and host one down in the Exumas, and now we have 5 days to make it against the trade winds to our own party. Ayana was now the captain, and she probably thought this was a pretty rare sight because she hadn't seen us sleep all week. But of course, the catnap didn't last long. It woke us up a few hours later like the world was coming to an end.
Think it's a big fish?
I'm just glad it's not a freighter. I got out of bed thinking like a boat was in front of us.
I'm sorry. Oh look, it's Bimini! Yay! Well, do we have lunch for today? Well,
We caught a Molly last night.
What?
Full moon, baby!
Where'd it go?
In the fridge.
You filleted it and everything?
Yeah. Feels like a big ass fish.
Well, it better be a big tuna. Or a wahoo! It's wahoo season!
Probably like a damn Marlin. But he's not jumping.
Oh my god! It just got off! Did you get that on camera? Yeah, I think so! Damn, that thing was massive! It got off? That thing was huge. I've never seen a big fish in my life. It literally cut right off at the billy bait.
That's crazy. That was a small little billy bait. Well, that was exciting.
That was a Marlin! Oh my god! Wow, what an entry into Bimini! I'm really glad we didn't get into the boat because they kind of scared me. But I knew Rap.
Welcome to the Bahamas.
He's got to mark his territory. We're saving the ocean! A bunch of balloons at a time! Whoa.
We just probably saved 12 sea turtles.
Look at that. We are good people. Good karma.
We are greeted with a Marlin in balloons.
Wow, the Bahamas is so excited to see us. Sail on!
You see that? We are good people.
We are very good people and we've got karma on our side.
Way to convince them, Sasha.
I'm sold.
Thanks. Back to Bimini.
We have made it to Bimini, baby. Sasha's up there dropping the sails and we are about to go clear customs. Spirit Animal is in the house. Back her down. I dropped the dinghy so I could go clear us all in customs while the ladies stayed back to wash off the Fort Lauderdale construction dust. Then we immediately set back sail to Nassau to try to beat the front coming.
Hold on.
John Lennon is in the house.
I'm ready.
We just figured out how to do a reef in the main. Well, the ladies rigged it up, got us all set up because it is about to start blowing here in the middle of the night. It's calling for 30 miles an hour of wind and a complete opposite rotation of the wind. Right now it's coming straight out of the south, and it said 20 minutes ago it should have switched and came directly out of the north, but we haven't felt any sort of wind change yet. A few gusts, but we are prepared now, and we're sailing through the night and should be in Nassau early in the morning.
Well, we're gonna hold out the blow. You lose something?
Yeah, the ice chest. Went flying.
That's a heavy item to go flying. Should we try to bungee it?
It was bungee.
I may have unbungeed it.
Why?
Floors don't look scratched.
I think it like flew across.
That cabinet might be fudged.
No, I just looked.
Looks like it landed right on this, so the cabinet survived.
I saw it go, it went flying. Like I'm pretty sure it skipped the floor.
Okay, so the cooler slid all the way across the boat. We escaped with minor damage. However, I don't really care about that right now because if you listen, you hear that? Yeah, I don't hear it either. There's no creaking in this bulkhead, which is awesome because when we used to sail this thing, it was so loud you could barely sleep up in this cabin, and now everything is just solid. I'm pretty excited about that one.
We'll see how that holds up.
About an hour later, it was like the forecast hit a light switch.
Well,
It is blowing now.
very much. We have a sliver of our head sail out, and we are cruising at 6.5 knots right now.
Yeah. Managed to get the head sail down. I think that we waited a little late to get the mainsail down.
We are getting some gusts of up to 30 knots right now. We do have a boat off of our starboard side. I feel like they might be anchored, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, so we're not the only crazy ones out here right now. We got another sailboat off of our starboard side. But yeah, we're getting gusts of up to 30. We're cruising at about 6.5 knots. It's cold. Cold, cold, cold.
Yeah. So we left Bimini to cross the shallow banks, and all of a sudden, a northerly front came through and made the seas pick up and become a little hostile. Then at 1 a.m. we saw a boat anchored right here taking waves over the bow, which made us question if we should sail through the tongue of the ocean in the middle of the night, which drops off from 20 feet down to 6,000 feet and can get really nasty. But the other boat looked like the bow was going to get ripped off, and after a bunch of failed attempts to reach them on the VHF, we decided to send it through the night and try to get to Nassau to hold out the blow. But that night was brutal. The winds were howling, the seas were a washing machine, and it was pitch black from all the heavy cloud cover. On top of that, our batteries died because we don't have the parts to hook up our alternator, which means we lost our autopilot. So to recharge the batteries, we took out a small generator, but that didn't work either. So around 3 a.m. we found ourselves cleaning the carburetor and changing the oil while the boat was rocking 25 degrees in both directions. But even once the autopilot was back on, it wasn't strong enough to keep up with this weather, so we ended up taking turns and hand steering most of the way to Nassau.
How was it?
Pretty brutal so far.
Brutal, yeah, I agree. That was quite a brutal trip. We crossed the banks over the night, and then we just made it across the tongue of the ocean, and we're on just about to West Bay in Nassau, and we got beat up. I don't think I slept since 11 o'clock yesterday. Yeah, I think we're all gonna sleep all day.
Yeah, we've been sailing for, what, 3 days now?
2.
2, that's it?
Yeah.
2 straight days, all
Like a day
night.
and a half.
Oh, was that the second night or the third night?
Well, we left at midnight first night, so this was the second night. So we've only been sailing for like, yeah, under a day and a half.
Feels like a week.
Yeah. We're all ready to get some sleep. Get anchored up, some calm waters, and go to sleep. We made it to West Bay. Feels really good to not be moving around like crazy right now. You enjoying your breakfast?
Oh yeah, Batman.
Of course, we were all exhausted, and we ended up sleeping the entire day. But when we woke up the next day, we saw that there was a gap in the weather, and we were going to have to set sail immediately if we wanted to make it to our flotilla on time.
But before we left, we ran into a friend whose name is Joel. A few weeks back, we got a message on Instagram from Joel saying, "One of your latest episodes inspired me to fly across the country and buy a sailboat, which happens to be anchored a couple hundred yards away from where you're at in Fort Lauderdale right now." So we went over to his boat to get his story and shake hands. And just like most of us who jumped into this lifestyle, he had absolutely zero experience when it came to sailing. Well, before we set sail to the Exumas, he was telling us how last night was one of the scariest nights of his life. And turns out, Joel was the guy that was anchored right before the tongue of the ocean who was taking waves over the bow. And just like us, he was wondering if he should wait out the blow before going into the deep waters, so he dropped his anchor. But the waves were so strong it broke his bridle, burned up his windlass, and then he found himself in a super dangerous situation. His only option was to put the boat in gear, run up to the bow, and try to pull up the anchor by hand in the middle of the night while taking waves over his head. And at this point, he had only been sailing for a week, but he eventually got his anchor up and set sail to Nassau around 4 a.m. But the funny part about all this was, he looked us right in our eyes and said, "Guys, I race trophy trucks for a living, going 100+ miles an hour. But I've never been more scared in my life going 3 knots on a sailboat." Which we all got a kick out of, because we've all been in his shoes. But he realized this was actually a good thing for him, because now he's got a lot of confidence in his sailboat. So much so that he's decided to join us on the adventures to the Exumas to go to the flotilla.
Are you nervous?
I'll have the light ring ready.
Wait, what's the wind speed? 13. 7 knots.
Having fun. Go get them, girls.
God, Sasha.
Oh! How scary was that?
Kind of scary, you guys. Okay, Anna.
Ayana, you're up. Mission Impossible.
Alright, I think I'm just gonna leave y'all there. That's kind of funny.
We found this tube in a dumpster in Fort Lauderdale, and yes, we dumpster dove for it. It did have motor oil all over it, but we cleaned it off and we're glad we did.
Haven't you heard the term, girls just want to have fun? I'm quite jealous. I really want to be back there. Beautiful day out here. We are crossing from Nassau to Staniel Cay. We're heading to the flotilla. We will be there around midnight tonight.
Clearly this was a magical sail. So magical that I decided I needed to get the drone up to catch this on film. But just like any typical day with boating, you can't have straight sugar without getting some salt. And if you look right here, you'll see our $1,500 drone sinking to the bottom. Although Sasha recovered the drone, the only thing that was salvageable was the $20 SD card inside of it, which had no footage on it. But at least the cost can be justified since the sacrifice of the drone came with a good memory. But on a side note, all this irresponsible boating brings us to the sponsor of this week's episode.
There's a lot of idiot boaters out here on the water.
Loser!
If you're ever in this situation, you can call Morgan & Morgan.
Whether you're injured in a car, boat, or any other kind of accident, your serious injury could be worth millions. Just in the last few months, they've gotten some of their clients anywhere from 25 to 40 times the amount their insurance company was originally going to give them. And the best thing is, you don't pay a dime for their services unless they win, and starting a claim is just one click away.
File your claim today at forthepeople.com/SIA.
Once we got the ladies back on the boat, we continued our mission to the Exumas. We had about 60 miles left until we reached our destination, which, if you're going 5 to 6 knots, is about 10 to 12 hours away. We had perfect winds, beautiful weather, and honestly, sails like this are few and far between. So we relaxed and started making plans on how we were going to throw this party.
So we're about an hour out from Staniel Cay. We got a little blow, so we decided to reef the sail once. I'm out here doing the dirty work. Let me show you what the ladies are doing. Look at that moon by the way. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Are you enjoying your sail?
Yes, it's wonderful. A few hours later, we pulled into the anchorage, but the next morning, the winds were still blowing. Well, we are literally never catching a break. We're filling up the water tanks this morning because we ran out of water. I couldn't figure out why there was no overflow going out of our forward tank while I was filling it up, and I finally went to go check on it on the inside, and there's like 20 gallons of water underneath the tank. So we have a tank leak.
So this was our primary tank. We can't fill up our other tanks because the overflow doesn't work. But now we have to patch our main reliable tank.
And so now we're just trying to get that water out before it gets everywhere else. We're also pumping the water out of this tank into the other one so we don't have any more water leaking.
We jimmy rigged a quick overflow valve. So right now we're pumping out of the front tank and into the starboard tank. And then I disconnected this overflow valve, so this is our temporary overflow section right here so that the tank can bleed air while the water fills it up.
Had to take out our stash.
This is like the last thing we needed. We're trying to catch up on work, and now we have another thing we need to fix.
This is why Spirit Animal can't get a video out once a week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's alright, cheer up, Buttercup. What bucket number is that?
Like 5?
Yeah, probably 6.
Bucket number 6. Going into the shower and down the drain.
Perfectly good water.
Usually it's roles reversed.
You rap.
Oh shit, it's bad.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
How bad?
Bad.
No way.
Yes way.
Like the tank is cracked?
Cracked.
Like, is it
Damn you, Ricky Bobby.
It's not repairable.
It's repairable, but we're not patching it from the inside like we thought. We were hoping it was a little pinhole that we could epoxy, but this is
Worse.
yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah, that's about a 6-inch cut.
Well, there wasn't much we could do about that right now, so we had to get back to business.
We have a hippie bar crawl today. Lauren's looking all hippie. As are you. Ayana's looking all hippie. Okay, I think Ayana won. Ayana definitely won. I'm looking all hippie. There's Joel. You got... Okay, you look a little hippie.
We're working on it.
Raph!
Yeah.
Where are you? Come on, show your face.
I gotta get my headband on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Go girl.
It's already there.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Cheers. We're gonna have everyone over to the boat.
What's up, dude? I'm Brad.
We figured if we threw a bar crawl, it'd give everyone a chance to meet, shake hands, and get comfortable before the real party in a few days.
Time to party, baby.
And we also struck a deal with a local bar who said anyone in our group with a glow stick gets 2-for-1 rum runners.
Are you guys ready?
And after about an hour, it was time to go.
To the bar! To the bar!
Join us next week as we throw a flotilla that kicks off our grand adventure.
As always, we want to thank you guys so much for sharing, liking, and subscribing to our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. And also, to be notified, hit that bell button so you know when our flotilla episode comes out.
Yeah, and also we want to give a big thank you to everyone who goes out of their way to become a patron of ours. We really wouldn't be doing these videos without you guys, and also the upper tier patrons that we like to thank by giving a plaque on the spirit animal. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week.